Well, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's the Big Canucker here, and I'm coming at you with another video here. Hopefully, the sound is better. I've got my headphones in, my AirPods in. Yeah, that was a brutal video to shoot 7 times or 8 times. I think I reshot that, and even though it fell a little bit, I finally just got pissed off and just, damn it, it's off to the cloud, off to the neverland of YouTube. That's where it's gone. And man, it just kind of pissed me off. But anyway, I have got something here I'm going to get on today, and that is dealing with some small knives. And now actually what made me think of this small knife is I had the opportunity to purchase one of my Grail knives, and it's a big honking piece of 3V steel, otherwise known as the Spyderco Shemp Tough, and I passed on it. If any of you guys have been viewers of mine for a long time, you'll know that that was one of my top 10 Grail knives. I had the opportunity to purchase it, but the lady just kind of pissed me off, and I decided to just pass on it. Plus, I kind of had a look at it, and I watched the reviews on it, and it's awfully tough to spend a lot of money without putting something in your hand. And unfortunately, I couldn't drive up to where she was to see it and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up passing on it, but I ended up getting a big honking knife, and that's coming. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow, so I'll do an unboxing tomorrow. But what it ended up doing is I got a great big knife that's on the way. It's a Spyderco, and it just made me think of, I want to carry a big knife to kind of get used to it again. So for the last couple of days, I've EDC'd my Spyderco K2. Now, which in turn led me to think, well, you know what? This is a pretty big honking knife. And if I head uptown or I head to some place where, you've got some people who are a little bit goofy ass and they see me, pull out this great big Spyderco K2 to open up a package or something like that, or cut off the top of a pineapple leaves in a store or something, they'll be a little bit, holy cow, this murderous bastard's going to kill us all. Let's phone the police. So it made me think of having a secondary blade, which made me think of having a small blade, which made me think, hey, I've got some small blades. Which one is the one that you would carry and that I enjoy carrying the most? So I kind of went through all of them here, and I'm just going to kind of go through my little small blades that I've got. Now, some of them I think that you can use as just an everyday carry unto itself. Some of them I think are better off as backup blades, and I just thought I would kind of go through my collection here of the little small blades and kind of give you my thoughts on them. Now, the specifications for a small blade, I'm going with a small blade. It has to be under 2.5 inches. And the Spyderco Chubby jumped right away. It is one of my favorite small knives. Now, the blade length on this bugger is 2.3 inches. Very ergonomic, though. When you put this knife in your hand, you don't realize that you're carrying a sub 3-inch bladed knife. Overall length is 5.96 inches, so just a smidge under 6. And it's still, Michael Birch, who designed this knife, I think is an absolute genius on designing knives that are small, that carry and feel like a big knives. I have actually EDC'd this knife completely on its own, not as a secondary blade, but just as my everyday carry, and I was not wanting for anything. At 2.3 ounces or 2.3 inches blade, edge length is 228. I mean, you know what? She's pretty much all belly here, just like me. A CPM S30V, 4.1 ounces though. She's a little bit of a chunky monkey. Custom clip on it, spider hole opening, titanium frame lock. It's got some decent fidget factor. Definitely would like to have a good lanyard on here too as well. This is a knife I think that begs having a good lanyard. And this one here I ended up using out of, normally my lanyards are leather. This particular one happens to be some green paracord, and I think it will benefit from a nice stiff lanyard. All right, so that is my Spyderco Birch chubby. Now the next one here, I think, is a great little knife. This here is the Spyderco Dragonfly 2 in a British Racing Green. And if you're a Spyderco person or a real good knife guy, you'll know that when you see Spyderco's British Racing Green, you'll invariably see it with a ZDP 189, which is a Hitachi steel out of Japan. I can't remember the exact kind of North American equivalent to it, but the ZDP 189 is an extremely long life edge steel. It'll cut forever, this thing. At the ZDP 189, if you want to see how it'll perform, go to Cedric Adeda's gear channel. Pete down in Australia, he cut a schmack load of twisted sisal rope with his, and yeah, just what a really exceptionally designed knife here. Now the Dragonfly 2 has been around for an awfully long time, and there's no wonder why. It is really a large knife in a little knife package, owing to the fact that you've got, say, 3.5 inch carry here, or use with the handle, a 3.5 finger handle. I mean, you can squeeze kind of 4 in there if you've got a small hand, but I've kind of got a big hand, so my kind of, using the choil here, my hand kind of, I choke up on it, and it doesn't fill my palm or anything like that, but I do have a really good grip on it. Now the blade length on this is 2.25 inches and 1.875 inches in cutting length, or 48 millimeters. It is, I think, a extremely slicey little knife here. Now the weight on it is 1.2 ounces or 34 grams. It is wickedly light. Now when you put this in your pocket, now a lot of times this little one here, it's got everybody seems to have their favorite Spyderco clip, and the majority of people seem to really like this wire clip. I think it's a great little clip. It just adds to the lightness. When you've got that spoon clip on here, I think it just adds a little bit of weight to it, but with this wire clip, it does an absolutely fantastic job. Now the blade thickness here is 2.5 millimeters, and it is, like I said, a fully flat ground. It's a wicked little slicey beast. Now this knife here can be sitting on your desk to open up packages, the mail. It can dice up some cardboard. It can dice up some food too as well, because of the full flat grind. And it could be I think it can be an everyday carry knife unto itself. Even has some decent kind of fidget factor. Now, when you actually close it up like that, the choil will hit the finger, so you're not worried about cutting yourself. At least I'm not, with this mid-backlock design. The FRN handles here, which is virtually indestructible material, fiberglass reinforced nylon. You can take this knife apart if you so desire to clean it up, but so far, it's been a great little knife. I actually take this knife, and most of the time, this knife is in my robe. I know there are some people out there who think, I'm a whack ass for having a knife on me probably 23.5 hours a day, except when I'm having a shower. But then again, a knife is only an arm's reach away when I am having a shower. But it's a knife that you can put inside your watch pocket and you can forget about. It can definitely be your backup, no problem. Now, let's just see here. Now, the next one here is kind of a discontinued one. And it would be very similar here to this Dragonfly 2. This is actually a Meerkat. And a Meerkat is, a really decent knife unto itself. It's got a really neat little opening. So rather than, there's no backlock here, it's a little bit heavier than the Dragonfly. And most of that here is due to the fact that you've got a solid steel spine here. And you can actually take it, and that's how you close it. You actually take the two scales and you twist them. There you go, which releases the backlock here. You can see how it lifts up, and then you can close your knife. So this one here is a leaf-shaped blade, more in the style of kind of Spyderco likes those leaf-shaped blades. It's fully flat ground, and it's got a VG10 steel. Now, that to me is a little bit of a knock, but I think less so when you're talking about a secondary or just a little small knife that's kind of a package opener. because I don't think you're going to be taking these knives and you're not going to be dicing up, you know, miles and miles of cardboard. You're going to use this to open up your packages. You're going to be using this to, you know, cut some thread. You're going to use this if you've got somebody out there who is not a knife guy, and they say, hey man, have you got a knife for a second? I need to cut something. You're going to feel better handing them, you know, this Meerkat or this Dragonfly 2 rather than handing them, you know, your Spyderco K2 or your Paramilitary 2 or, you know, or one of your knives that are your babies. If this one gets a little bit buggered edge, not so much of you know, a crying moment. But, you know, if you had your, you know, your $330 Spyderco bomb, then that one is going to be crying, because I'd be crying if I dropped that one. But this Meerkat, no, kind of a knock on this Meerkat is the fact that you've only got tip down carry. I love carrying my knives tip up, and there's, you know, it is left or right-handed carry, but it is only, like I said, tip down. I like carrying mine tip up, but I suppose this is going to be, I think, a lot less of a factor, owing for the fact this is probably not going to be anybody's main EDC knife. Although, you know what, it could be. It could be an EDC. All of these knives, I think, bar these two here, could be your main EDC if you had to. Now, this one here is 2.4 ounces, 68 grams. It is almost double, I guess, well, this one, it is double this one. I think the Dragonfly is 34 grams. Yeah, 68 grams. This one, so it's double the weight of this Dragonfly 2, but still not super, super heavy. And like I said, it is very, very similar to the Dragonfly 2. Let's put this away. Now, they say the blade length on this one here is 2 inches. And the edge length is 1.6 inches or 43 millimeters. And the blade length 2.01 is 51 millimeters. All right, so this one here is built in Japan. Seiki City, Japan? Yes, it is, Seiki City. So the fit and finish is quite good on this. All right, so let's go with the next one here. This here, if you astute viewers, this here is a Serge Panchenko dog tag blade. Sorry, what the heck has I got going on here? A little piece of cardboard. I was cutting up some nothing with this knife. All right, this is your aluminum titanium folder. This is a knife that sees most of the time it is dirty as hell. Sorry about that. This is what goes on my keychain to my camper. This is just I use this not so much as a knife, as a keychain that I think looks cool. It's dirty as hell. I'll have to clean it up because I love the colors on it. And the fact that if I have this on my keys and I am in a pinch or I can't carry any sort of blade whatsoever, most of the time this is going to pass through as kind of security checkpoints without anybody giving it too much of a look. And if you need to cut a small thing, like, you know, let's just say you want to open up a cardboard box that you've come from Amazon, or you want to cut a piece of thread, that's what this is mostly for. This here had an MSRP of $119 American, which is, I think that's a lot of money for what this is. And this is just simply a cool looking keychain that will cut a few things. You know, it has a chiseled edge on it, which I've never had really good luck. Let's just see here. Am I still going? Yes, I am. Sorry about that. No, I've never had really good luck sharpening chiseled blades. You know, I can get them okay sharp, but I can't get them anywhere near as sharp as just see something like this. You know, and I hand sharpen this one, and this one here is hair whittling. And I just don't know if it's a matter of just having patience or what, but I've just not been able to get this one too sharp. You know, this is S30V steel on it, so it is a decent steel, but you're not going to use this knife to cut a whole bunch. The edge holding ability isn't as important as the form and function of this knife, and it is mostly just going to be a keychain. Okay, all right. Next, now the final one here is not a Spyderco. It is actually another keychain that I have. It is the Leatherman P4 Squirt. and it has a little tiny blade on it too as well. I think a 1.6 inch blade here. So it is not anything that is going to be cutting, you know, loads and loads and loads of stuff. This here, I like this because it's a handy little way to carry scissors on my person, and I like the fact that you have these here, these little pliers, and they're not necessarily there to act as pliers where I'm going to be reaching on something, you know, and grabbing a hold and wrenching on a nut or anything like that. It is mostly for the fact that I can use these as almost like a needle nose to grab and pull something out, like a sliver. I've got one friend who uses them. Is once in a while, you know, he's walking here in Lethbridge. There's lots of brambles and there's lots of little thorns and stuff like that. And when he goes for a walk with his huskies, he ends up getting lots of little tiny burrs and stuff in their paws and the little pokies in their paws, and he uses that to pull them out. That's exclusively what he uses it for. But for me, I just love the fact that you can have a nice little blade here. Like, again, on my keychain, not going to really, you know, I'm sure if you went through TSA, they would confiscate this. But here in Canada, if you have to go to the courthouse to pay a speeding ticket, the bastards want to confiscate my knives. And I have gone through security with this on my keys as well as that, and they haven't blinked on it. So I don't know if they're just not paying attention or what, but that's mostly what I love this for too as well, is the scissors. So now I'm going to say these two here are mostly keychains, not necessarily even second blades. I wouldn't use those as second blades. I would use those as just simply keychains with a little bit more functionality than just a ring. These two knives here, I would shy away from using these as your everyday carry knife, although they could be in certain situations. They certainly can be. They are more than functional enough to be everyday carry knives, although I would use this more as a backup or a secondary knife. Out of these two, I like that one the best. And then if you're going to use a sub 3 inch or sub 2.5 inch knife as your everyday carry, I don't think there's anything wrong with carrying this Michael Birch Chubby. I think they call, I'm not sure, is it the, yes, it's the Birch Chubby. It is, I think, a good looking little knife, a handy knife at minus 2.5 inch blade length and minus 6 inch blade length. I don't think you can go wrong with carrying this knife as your everyday carry. I think it'll dice up cardboard, it'll dice up food if you have to, it'll cut open boxes, and it'll do the majority of your cutting tasks, including having a little bit of a fidget factor and good looking, and you're gonna not really scare a lot of people. Maybe the width on this is a little bit, I don't know, sometimes girth is more important than length. Right, ladies? Yeah, that's right. I see, my wife says, you know, give me 6 inches and make me bleed. So I fuck her twice and punch her in the nose. That's an old joke. And that's going to get me taken off the air. Anyways, thanks so much for stopping by. Now, the other thing I want to mention today is great big day. I'm halfway to my goal. Excuse me. I hit 500. Oh my goodness. I'm talking like I've got a frog in my throat. Maybe that's son of a gun. That must be God's way of punishing me for telling a stupid joke. Oh, please forgive me about that, guys. All right, put on my Ricky Radio voice again. Oh, where was I? Oh, yes. Thank you so much, my friends and subscribers. I'm halfway to my goal. I want to hit 1,000. My goal was to hit 1,000 before the end of the year. Now the end of the year has come and gone, and I haven't hit that, but I have hit 500. And I got to say thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for helping me spread my voice. And you know what? And the other thing is, I love hearing from you guys, and I love hearing the fact that what I've done here online has got some value. It's provided you guys with some information. You know what? I'm sure, you know what, it is not the most important information in the history of man, but I've hoped that I've helped people with some buying decisions on, you know, particular knives that they want to buy. I have hoped that I have scratched that knowledge itch when somebody has been wondering something and they've gone on YouTube to look for it and they've come across my channel, and I've helped them that way. And you know what? I also hope that I have come into people's lives and become part of their daily ritual. You know, they get online, they have a look, they look for, you know, knife videos, and I hope I've been entertaining to them. And because you guys have come into my lives, I've got some customers who have sent me, or customers, I've got some subscribers who have sent me some knives. Patrick, you know who you are. I appreciate it so much. It's been unbelievable, this journey of mine. And I want to hit another 500 subscribers before the end of the year. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers, because then I can go live and I can do some Friday Night Live stuff with you guys. And you know what, maybe get my wife involved and, you know, just have a little bit of fun. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up and we'll subscribe. Now, we are not out of the woods yet with this darn pandemic, so please stay safe, take your precautions, listen to the scientists that are out there. Now keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.